On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, we have an NBA free agency recap. The NBA is absolutely hammered. Everyone's getting $100 million. We react to all the news. Jabari Smith, our guy, getting paid, War Eagle. We have winners and losers of the week. Backyard baseball is back. Talk about that. Malik Beasley got caught for gambling. Can't blame it on Ipe. So we'll see how that goes for him. And we end it with the debut of our 4 and 400 for 2025. The 4 and 400 of 4 and 400s we'd like to do this year. It's all coming up next.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome back to another episode of Views from Section 400. Today is July 3rd, and Jack, our guy Jabari Smith, he got paid.
He got paid, War Eagle.
War Eagle. 5 years, $122 million.
The Rockets have been making a lot of moves. They're bringing Kevin Durant into town. A lot of things are going on, but they kept Bari and they paid him. They clearly want to build around him in the future. Well, the window's open now. You just got KD, but he is the present and the future.
Yeah, not only did they get KD, but now Jabari Smith, I remember at Auburn, the ceiling comp was maybe this guy can be a little Slim Reaper. The next Kevin Durant. Now you get Kevin Durant to hopefully learn under for 5 years, but we all know how it goes with Kevin Durant. He's completing the rainbow of jerseys. But maybe we get an Auburn Tigers ring in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, I've never been one for Houston sports. So I'm not really particularly hoping that they win it. Maybe Walker Kessler can get us one. Maybe Tahad next year. I don't know. But not rooting for Houston sports anytime soon. Not me.
Yeah, well, I don't think our guy Nick will be very happy to hear that. The team that did win the title this year, they just paid their superstar the most money ever for an NBA contract. SGA got 4 years, $285 million, highest average annual value of a contract ever. I think this is worth it, dare I say?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're someone who says, "What have you done for me lately?" He just won you an NBA championship, so it makes sense. MVP, got every single accolade you could possibly get. Accolade. I don't know how I messed that up twice, but anyway, he coming off an incredible season that he did, it makes sense why he got paid.
So the extension, $70 million a year. I think it's now a total $364 million over the next 6 years. I just think it's unbelievable the way these guys are getting paid. But I do think it's deserved with the market. That does bring it down to about $60 million a year, which is still unbelievable. But it's deserved, right? MVP. They just won the finals. That's what you pay the most money in the league to. So I have no problem with it. I didn't get to put my 2 cents on Jabari Smith, and I haven't followed his game much outside of college. I do remember how much of a beast he was in college, and I was even on the Slim Reaper comp train when he was playing at Auburn. He was that good. And I'm not saying that he's going to have a bad NBA career, still just 22 years old, but 12.2 points per game, 7 rebounds, and just over an assist on 43.8% shooting. Is this just where the market is? I think so. Seems like an overpay if you ask me for that stat line. But again, they have the money to spend. They just got KD. It's their window to win. You do what you do. I don't know where they could have upgraded beyond that, but 12.2 points a game could get you, $25 million a year.
Yeah, I think there's also the factor he's been better without Jalen Green. His per 75-minute stats are a lot better without Jalen Green, and now you don't have to deal with him. And I don't know what the deal is with – I don't know if the Suns are going to keep Green or what they're going to do but it
I don't
seems
know why
like the
they
league's
wouldn't.
starting. They said they might just flip him for assets. I don't think anyone really. He's getting the DeAndre Ayton treatment, where no one really wants him. He's really talented, but people are just kind of sick of him.
I mean, I could see the Suns trying to do something with the team they have, be bringing in Jalen Green and Mark Williams, two guys who were talked about a lot this past season. And, there's always Devin Booker, who's just the face of that franchise and has been. I know they don't have KD anymore. They got rid of Ayton a long time ago, but, they could go for it as an organization. Do I think that they have a shot? No. Do they realize that, though? Doesn't really seem like it with the moves they've been making.
I still got Bradley Beal sitting around on the injured list, right?
Yeah, of course.
Exists down
Of course,
there,
they have Beal. He's in there at the small forward, but he's terrible.
Well, he's not terrible. He just isn't on the court. I guess that's the same. What do they say? The
thing.
Best ability is availability.
That is what they say, Brian.
That is what they say. But I kind of want to talk about probably the biggest news other than, obviously the SGA extension in terms of big money. And I know we touched on Jabari Smith, but Myles Turner, $107 million over 4 years, but also to note Damian Lillard waived and they're stretching the contract. Really weird situation coming out of Milwaukee, but they get Turner to pair up with Giannis moving forward, at least for now. Who knows Giannis's future? I guess he's going to stay.
Yeah, that's got to be the highest combined vertical in a front court in NBA history. It's two freaks of nature sitting up there, but
yeah, for real, they're upgrading, moving on from Brook Lopez, who's had a phenomenal career, especially with the Bucks. But they're getting younger, and it's just great to pair him up with Giannis. That's gonna be one of the best front courts in basketball.
Can't forget about Kyle Kuzma. Big three.
And Kuzma's over there. Is Bobby
Is he
Portis
still on a
there?
team?
I don't know.
Bobby Portis is still there. They got a bunch of good forwards. The guards.
Look, the guards could be shaky, but it's the brand new Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert.
Way better.
I would say so. A lot better.
It's the same exact thing. Way better or not way better is a completely different conversation, but it's the same thing that the Timberwolves tried to do, and then they got lucky by being able to draft Ant Edwards. I don't think the Bucks are as lucky to bring in a talented guard. So,
I mean, Myles Turner has a 3-point shot that Rudy Gobert could never dream of. And Cat versus Giannis, also very different players. But
yeah, but if you want to put Giannis with Gobert as
we're talking about the 4 and 5.
Yeah, but I'm saying mass comparison works if you're going Giannis as a perimeter.
It for sure works. I wasn't comparing who's better. Who's better? Of course, Giannis.
I don't agree with that either. You think Gobert and Giannis are similar? I think you're on crack.
From 3, yeah. Giannis can't shoot threes.
I'm not talking about just from 3. I'm talking about that comparison in general. I don't think Cat Gobert are similar to Giannis and Myles Turner at all.
I think Matt was just making the point that the Bucks are trying to build from the inside. They're trying to do like the Spurs with Duncan and Robinson instead of what the NBA is catered to with guard play.
I didn't mean to rub you the wrong way, Jack.
I thought you were talking about those 2 players specifically, not building through the front court.
They're just loading up on star big men.
Big men are back.
Big men are back. It's simply the point I was trying to make. My bad.
Well, in the spirit of big men are back, you guys saw the Lakers just got DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, I thought you were going with Luka Garza to the Celtics. But yeah, DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers did happen.
Brian, you're just the king of irrelevancy.
I mean, Luke Cornett got paid, and I thought that guy was pretty irrelevant.
Jakob Poeltl got $100 million. The NBA is drunk.
Jakob Poeltl has been doing it a long time, man.
Yeah,
he is Mr. Fundamental, taught by Pop and Duncan. Yeah, Jakob Poeltl's got it going on.
It's just so tough because the rosters are so small and the media deals are getting bigger and bigger by the year. There's 12 guys to pay, and you're going to pay your top 3 guy. It's just, in 10 years, we're going to see guys getting paid $150 million a year. It's just like it's literally on that pace.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so Ayton goes to the Lakers. They can't re-sign Reeves because he said F you, and then LeBron said he might want to be traded.
So the
if they're not in contention.
LeBron story is interesting as well because he opted into the 52 and a whatever $1 million player option, but I guess Rich Paul's his agent, said they're exploring options. I don't know. The verbiage was very weird. Sounded like, we're going to opt in here. We'll say we're committed to the Lakers for the upcoming season, but hey, backdoor, are we exploring trade options if something better that, let's be honest, whatever LeBron thinks, that's what they're going to pursue. So if something catches his eye that's, more attractive than the current Lakers situation, I think that's what's ultimately going to happen because LeBron is the Blackstone of the NBA. He runs it.
And maybe I'm just trying to think of like where LeBron James getting traded would be one of the craziest sports things ever. Like that's
would it though?
Why? Yeah, I was gonna say
why?
Why would that be crazy?
Why would that
LeBron does this all the time.
Yeah, but he does it.
To get traded,
but he trades for people, and then he goes and signs with people. He's never been traded. I don't know. That's like trading Patrick Mahomes. And I understand LeBron's 45.
10, 15 years ago, I'd agree with you. Right now, it's like end of his career or something.
Yeah, but he's still LeBron James.
You want to know the reason why I believe he actually might leave this year more than any other reason? I truly believe it is because Buss sold the Lakers. And I don't think LeBron would have left if that didn't happen. But now he doesn't feel the ties as much anymore, and I feel like he might go.
She's still apparently pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, but there's
still involvement.
She's getting her payout.
Let's think about it. Let's think about it. Yeah, they sold it. They sold it for $10 billion. So yeah, somebody's getting paid. But let's think about it from LeBron as a dad perspective, right? Who's on his team? His son. What does son do? His son turned down a 3-year, $40 million extension, which Bronny James went out on Twitter and said was a disrespectful offer. I'm not sure what he was looking for, but apparently I would take that in a heartbeat. So I'm not sure. Was he only on a 1-year deal, 2-way contract that they guaranteed for the rest of the year? I'm not sure what he was on, but he declined it. LeBron opts in for $52 million. Rich Paul leaves the door open that a more attractive offer will see LeBron leave. So is this just wide open now for LeBron to go somewhere else and his son to follow? I think that's absolutely the possibility and good chance it happens.
Matt, you got Sintelled.
Why'd I get Sintelled?
That extension was never on the table.
Says who? I mean, Bronny tweeted at it.
It was NBA. Yeah, NBA Sintel tweeted it.
Oh.
And then they were saying.
Why did he say disrespectful?
I don't know. He's probably going along with the joke.
Either way, I think LeBron.
But his kid does. Yeah, that.
The story makes sense.
It makes sense, which is why it's like he's in there because of his dad. That's why he's in the
100%.
league.
But if he stays on another team that's not with his dad, why would they keep him?
I don't think they would.
Exactly.
So does he force Brian to get
traded? Or not, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's it not?
I can't see LeBron getting it. I can't see him getting traded. I think he retires before he actually gets traded. He's like, what do you trade for LeBron James? What is LeBron James worth? Even a washed LeBron James.
All the King's horses and all the King's men.
Yeah, do they trade him to the Nuggets and Jokic trades 3 of his horses?
I don't think Jokic will do that. 40-year-old that averaged 25, 7, and 7. So a superstar, but injury liabilities. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, we also had the downfall of the Celtics. The second apron struck Boston.
We did, but we didn't. Jason Tatum's still there but injured. Jaylen Brown's still there. They acquired Anthony Simons, who I think can be fantastic.
He's a good ball player.
I think he can be fantastic on the Celtics. They lost Porzingis and they lost an aging Drew Holiday.
And Luke Cornett.
Who, I don't. That
like 6 blocks in one of those playoff games.
I don't know how they get past the Knicks without Pingus, though.
Yeah,
true.
It's this is just going to be a wash here, I think, in general for the Celtics without Tatum. So they're, it's almost like, is it the downfall? I don't know, but it's more of I'm pressing the pause button on the remote, and I'll hit resume in 2027 or whenever that next season after next year starts. Yeah. But speaking of Porzingis, he went to the Atlanta Hawks. They also signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Porzingis matched up with Trae Young. You add in Alexander Walker. They still have that top pick from 2 years ago. Who was Zacharias? Was that guy still there?
Zach Richere.
Who knows what
Dyson
he's
Daniels.
able to do?
Dyson Daniels.
Signed Luke Kennard, best shooter in basketball, according to one anonymous source last year.
I think the Hawks, we won't say what they can or can't be, but knowing what they've done so far in offseason, pairing with what they already have, what's Atlanta's ceiling for the upcoming season? Are they a lock for the top 6 in the East?
I think they can win the East. Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
No, I do think that's fair. But they're going to need Trae Young to lock back in. I feel like he's just not been the same Trae Young that he was when he came into the league. It was lighting it on storm and lighting it on fire, taking it by storm. And the big wins in the Garden against the Knicks. I feel like it's been a few years since we've gotten that from Trae Young. So we're going to need him to lock back in because he is the conductor that makes the train run for the Hawks. But they have done a decent job. I'll give him more credit than that. They've done a good job at putting some pieces around him and got him a much better center. I know Pingus has his problems here and there, but he's a much better center than Clint Capella ever was. And this is a big step up for them there.
Well, let's talk about real quick, Brian, just because I don't know that we're going to touch on this player. A star in the making, maybe already a star, Jalen Johnson. I feel like this guy does not get any light. I
couldn't remember his name when you guys were listing off Dyson Daniels and everybody. I'm like, they got one more. I couldn't remember him.
Jalen Johnson is a borderline star that gets no light shed on him.
He's a really good defender. He needs to develop some better shooting. But I really like the Hawks because I think they got the steal of the draft at number 22 in Asa Newell. This kid was one of the best players in the SEC last year. It's why I liked Trae Johnson so much. He almost beat Auburn. He front rimmed the buzzer beater, and they would have won that game because of him, pretty much only, and because of him. I really like this kid. I really like what the Hawks are doing. I think this is a good team. And in an East that's not that good, in an East that the Knicks are probably the favorites, and their head coach is Mike Brown.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Hawks might have a chance here.
Well, before we get into some maybe signings that we weren't, or just maybe head scratchers or thought weren't good, let's go through the East, right? You have the Knicks, the favorites. Are the Magic the next up? Like the Sixers the next up? Like the Celtics, I don't think are up there without Jason Tatum.
No,
definitely not.
Might be the Magic. I'm looking up the odds right now.
And by the way, if the Sixers are healthy,
the Cavs will be back.
They're not a top 3 team. I think you're on crack.
The Cavs will be back.
It's safe to assume the Sixers won't be healthy. It's safe to assume Joel Embiid's not going to play many games.
Joel Embiid, I'll give you for sure. Guaranteed to miss 25 games. Guaranteed. It's just what he is at this point in his career.
And if those 25 come at the end of the
season. But can
he
miss them in the right point of the season?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Question. Let's see. So Eastern Conference, you have the Cavs at plus 270, the Knicks at 280, and then it's the Magic at 410, and the Hawks coming in fourth at plus 1,000.
The Pacers are killed too.
They haven't done anything. All they've done is lose Myles Turner.
Lost Turner and
they
essentially lost Halliburton as well without losing him, but for the year.
It'll be Naismith and what the fuck is his name? Nemhard.
And
McConnell.
McConnell.
Get Benedict Mathurin. They still got dudes. They'll be running
they'll
around.
still be a top 8 team, right? I mean, and you only got to be top 10 in the Eastern Conference.
I think Pascal Siakam is good enough to bring.
He's good enough to get them into
bring
the
him to a top 8. Yeah,
to a play-in. Like
okay. So play-in is
Pistons,
10, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Pistons who played a tough series against the Knicks, brought that to 6 games, almost a 7th.
Yeah, Kate will be back next year.
So there's some sneaky teams, but I still the Sixers just got the 3rd overall pick. Like Jared McCain's back healthy. We know what Tyrese can do. Sure, Paul George was horrendous last year. You're telling me they can't get a better version of Paul George or something? Like, take the Philadelphia hate blinders off. You can't tell me that Paul George isn't going to be better than what he is last year. Seriously.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't watch a single minute of Paul George last year. I don't know how much he played. No, be for real. I'm being for real. I don't know. I can't tell you what Paul George was like last year. I know what he was like with the Clippers a few years ago, and he
were calling him Pandemic P.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's been good
his
since
moments. He definitely had his moments then, but
there's no
Paul George
way
at this point in his career.
You're telling me he can't be better than what he was last year, which was abysmal.
Well, if the bar is set so low, yes, I would hope he's better next year.
He will be.
And that's my answer.
A better Paul George. Again, you know what you're getting from Tyrese. They just signed, I forget the guy's name, but a really sneaky bench signing from the Nets. I totally forget the guy's name, but pretty solid. I think it was like a 2-year, $5 million deal. And I think he averaged 12 points a game for the Nets last year in off the bench or limited minutes. So sneaky signing there. We'll see what Justin Edwards can do in a full year 2, who, if we all remember, averaged almost 20 points a game over the last 20, 25 games last year down the stretch. So, John Broom, what's he going to do? They got pieces.
It's Trenton Watford from the Nets.
What were his stats last year, Brian? You have them readily available?
No, I just found his name, but I can find it quickly.
I thought he had a decent stat line. It seemed like a very good signing for how cheap they got the guy.
He averaged 10.2 points, 3.6 rebounds in 20 minutes a game, which
is horrible.
20 minutes is not bad.
That's really good for 20 minutes. That's great. That translates to almost 18 minutes a game if he was playing or 18 points a game if he was playing starter minutes. Maybe a little more, maybe I don't know.
I mean,
could average that. If he was playing more minutes, it was maybe a 16 and 5 guy. Kelly Oubre's still around.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I vaguely remember him on Portland. I think I streamed him in fantasy
2
basketball.
years, $5.3 million. What's that? 2.7 a year.
No, it's a good signing. I mean, one of those I also liked a lot was Karis LeVert getting picked up by the Pistons. I think that's a phenomenal signing for them. Get them another score.
It's been a while since I've heard his name in
he's always
in the light.
Around.
NBA bubble legend. He dropping 35 a game for that Nets team that was in the playoffs somehow. It was probably the last time the Nets made the playoffs.
He was going off, and then wasn't there a dude on the Pacers going off?
Oh my God, what was his name? TJ Warren.
Yes.
NC State,
was
TJ
actually
Warren.
dropping 40 points a game in the bubble.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, that kid was going off.
It was wild.
A lot of people had some crazy bubble experiences.
I agree. All right, we talked about everything. The other last thing I could say, and again, rival to rival here, Gershon Yabusele to the New York Knicks. Sixers didn't really probably have the money. 11 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game. I think Yabusele is probably a little bit more physical than that guy from the Nets that we signed. I already forget his name, but seems like Watford. Seems like Watford's a replacement and a much cheaper one at that for basically the same production.
I don't know why the Spurs just wouldn't go sign Wemby's friend. Doesn't make much sense to me. But
yeah, I mean, they gave him, I think it was 2 years, 11 mil. And
the
they
Spurs
gave
could have done that.
the Sixers gave Watson 2 years, 5.3 for basically the same production. Yabusele averaged like 2 more rebounds per game, which is whatever. We have Janai Broom and Drummond to eat up rebounds.
He also dunked on LeBron James in the Olympics. That's got to be worth like $2 million on a contract.
Maybe. Either way, I think it was a good bit of business, and I've been impressed for all things considered for how the Sixers have navigated this offseason up until this point. Plenty of time for them to ruin that. I know.
So we're bought back in.
Bought back in, no. Well, I'm excited for the upcoming season. I'm excited. A lot of guys got rest. I'm excited that it should be a season that everybody's coming back healthy. Obviously that could change within a week for Embiid, but for the most part, coming into the season healthy, some new exciting rookies in Janai Broom and Edgecombe. I think there's reasons to be excited about a team that kind of did a little bit of reloading, bringing back some superstars, and they're going to go compete for an Eastern Conference to, in my eyes, is completely wide open. Like Brian said, the Knicks have the favorite who just freaking hired Mike Brown as their head coach. I'm not scared of them.
I don't know how they fumbled the bag that badly.
Keep Thibodeau at that point.
Yeah.
Like, that's your replacement? What are you doing? Unless you're going and getting Jay Wright, that would be the only reason to fire Thibodeau. Unless
I remember
hire Brunson's dad. I think he's.
And I remember us having this conversation a month ago when they fired Tibbs. Like, look, we can understand it. We might not agree with it, but we can understand why they do it. But what's the next move? Who do you go get? Then they go try to interview 20 different coaches and get denied. And now you got Mike Brown.
Yeah, they. Like I said, just keep Thibodeau at that point if that's your best replacement.
Maybe they bring in LeBron. I feel like Mike Brown and LeBron are still on good terms, right? I never know.
Redick, just get JJ Redick to go coach them.
Mike Brown, LeBron, are they friends? It doesn't say. Google AI didn't help me, but who knows? Maybe. LeBron in the Mecca? It'd be cool.
Save it. All right. Worst signings. I had one that I kind of scratched my head about. I don't know if you guys had anything on your board, but Duncan Robinson, he signed to the Pistons as well, right?
I believe so.
3 years, $48 million. Now, the last 2 years of that contract, I believe, from what I was seeing, are not guaranteed. But $16 million for a player that I feel is pretty one-dimensional, and that's just shoot the three. Jack, he plays no defense.
Come on.
No defense.
Boy.
No, you're right.
I want to see you defend Duncan Robinson. Do it for our guy, Steve.
No.
How is he not one-dimensional?
He is very one-dimensional.
He plays zero defense.
But he's a locker room guy.
He's gritty.
And he's a fan of the pod.
Brian,
so we're not going to get too. We're not going to
blows by him.
We're not going to grill too much into him.
I don't know.
We're Duncan Robinson.
$60 million a year for the Pistons are at that weird stage where they were mid-rebuild. They signed Tobias. Now they made the playoffs. Don't you think they could have done a little bit better coming off that encouraging year? And I know they've made some other pieces, but Duncan Robinson, $16 million a year.
Yeah, they need 3-point shooting. We'll get into why, but they need 3-point shooting.
But it's also Detroit.
Oh, so you're saying the bar is lower? Or it's harder to attract free agents?
They don't got a lot of people that want to go play in Detroit.
You see the WNBA guard?
2000s and the late 80s.
Look at the league. Look at the league back then, and look at those players. We're talking about Rip Hamilton and guys like that, like
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, we're not talking about Duncan Robinson from Miami.
Now, here's where. Okay, and we can talk about Duncan Robinson, but there was another guy that they gave up in the sign and trade, Simone Famaccio, the Italian guy who was younger, offered pretty much the same shooting capabilities that Duncan Robinson offered and played better defense.
I think you're underestimating Duncan Robinson's 3-point shooting.
Yeah, I mean, he's elite. Like he's a Ray Allen kind of guy.
Okay, well now you're being disrespectful to Ray Allen. You're being disrespectful to a lot of people. This is a little Duncan Robinson segment.
So I don't know that I am. You guys got
I'm talking to Jack.
Comments below.
What's Mike Miller?
You're telling me that I'm not
like
giving
Mike Miller.
Like, you're not giving enough credit. Jack giving him too much credit. I don't think maybe Duncan Robinson's just an enigma. I think Mike Miller is a lot better than Duncan Robinson is, but I also think Duncan Robinson's not bad.
Simone Finaccio, why not just keep him on a cheaper deal who's also younger? You give him up was the sign and trade for Duncan Robinson, or was that a different sign and trade? I'm not sure the exact details, but it just seemed like,
dude, Duncan Robinson is a taller Klay Thompson.
Okay, now
I'm done with this.
Now you're rage baiting. You're rage baiting in real life.
Total rage.
This is supposed to be.
I'm not
Twitter.
Even mad,
you
but
keep
I'm just
this
not
on...
entertaining it. I don't care enough to defend Klay Thompson, Ray Allen, or keep shitting on Duncan Robinson. I'm not shitting on the guy either. Like, I'm sure he's a nice player and he shoots the three well. Elite, I think, is crazy. Ray Allen, I think.
No, elite.
I mean, a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yes, he's an elite 3-point shooter.
Is that elite? I would say 45 is elite. We got to define elite.
Who has a career 3-point shooting percentage of 45%?
I don't know.
Anybody?
Somebody who's elite.
Steph might be at like 43.
You're asking for a lot.
I thought more guys were at or closer to 40 than I'm given. I got to relook at the numbers.
So Steph's career 3-point shooting is 42.3.
And Duncan Robinson's 40?
Yeah.
On how many attempts?
A lot, dog.
A lot of threes. That's all he does, like you said.
A lot.
Either way, I'm not trying to get into a whole Duncan Robinson. You asked who the worst signings are.
It's not a bad answer.
I didn't think that one made a lot of sense. That's all I'm trying to say. Is Duncan Robinson a nice player? Maybe.
I can give you
that. $60 million a year, a lot of money. Very one-dimensional. And that's what I got. I answered the question.
Matt, I love that because my worst signing is so damn similar. We got Michael Porter Jr. going out to Brooklyn and playing for the Nets.
Yeah, it's tough for him.
That's the end of the road for him.
They were always,
he's going to die out there.
Trying to kick. They were like trying to kick MPJ out of Denver forever. It feels like. I mean, it feels like the fan base made this decision.
I mean, he's a guy who can also only shoot the basketball, but I think that
he's more athletic than Duncan Robinson is.
He's definitely
more
athletic.
He's also way more
unlikable. If you're going to sit here and tell me
Michael Porter he's made a class. Yeah.
If you're going to tell me MPJ is shooting 40% from three, I'm going to tell you you're high.
He might be like 37.
That guy bricks threes.
He had a tough. He
has no problem chucking them.
They look like really good bricks, though.
No problem chucking them. He'll be 0 for 6 late in the third quarter, and he's jacking them up.
Here's another one.
Who said? I think it was Deion Waiters. He said, "I'd rather go 0 for 13 than 1 for 2 or something."
Yeah, then 0 for 1, 0 for 2.
Let it fly.
Right.
That's all I got on
his career
Robinson in the
because that means I stopped shooting.
So Michael Porter Jr. is a career 40% 3-point shooter.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
He's a good 3-point shooter.
Stats can say what the stats want to say. I don't believe that.
That doesn't pass the eye test.
Well, the recency bias.
I don't care if it's real. I don't believe it.
Maybe let's see what he's in the playoffs. Maybe that's what the difference is going to be here.
Oh, the playoffs could be disastrous.
37 in the playoffs. So not as good.
I don't believe it.
This year he shot 34% in the playoffs.
So
he wasn't good this year. So yeah, it is like Jack said, the recency bias.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. That's all I got on the NBA, dude. I'm making my head spin now.
I just had for worst signing whoever signs Josh Giddey. Is he
still out there?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody will.
I think someone will.
Since the Ball family brings headlines, let's talk about Lonzo real quick before we move on.
Yeah, got traded for our guy, Isaac Okoro.
Wait.
War Eagle.
Wait, can I say one more thing on that last conversation?
Oh, God.
If you need to.
I do. Luke Kennard has the third highest all-time career 3-point shooting percentage.
Yeah, that one dude knew ball. And who is the best shooter in the NBA?
Luke Kennard, 43%, damn near 44%. The only two people beating him are Hubert Davis and Steve Kerr.
I literally don't care. Luke Kennard.
I think that's wild.
Shit.
I mean, we were just talking about him earlier.
Do we have the new Splash Brothers in Atlanta with Trae Young and Luke Kennard?
No.
The percentages might be better.
What's Trae Young's percentage, dude? That guy can be a brick artist as well. I'm sure he's 40% too, since everybody's somehow magically 40%. I'm sure 41%. Here it comes.
No, he's definitely closer to like 37. 35.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
he had a tough
artist.
year. He needs to get back to it.
He's got the Caitlin Clark effect where he can make it from anywhere on the court, but he's going to miss a lot of them.
He's going to miss a lot. He'll shoot 15 threes a game, make like 4 of them, but the 4 will be from the logo. And
they'll be in the fourth quarter.
There'll be 4 clips of him jacking cup threes, and everybody will get all gung-ho about it. But it is what it is.
Any more NBA stuff? I guess we want to talk about Lonzo Ball?
I just wanted to bring him up just because I thought you guys would be fired up.
I was sad. Now we got with Okoro on the Cavs, we kind of had a chance for an Auburn ring, and now he's out in Chicago. And I don't think that owner's selling anything.
First of all, the Cavs, I said that before the playoffs. The Cavs are cooked. They were never winning anything. So the chance.
Yeah, but if he was there for the remainder of his career,
sure.
They always had a shot.
Compare one team compared to the other, Cavs versus Bulls, sure. They had the better chance of the two. Neither are winning, though.
The Cavs have a shot this year with the East being wide open.
It's wide open. They're frauds.
We could have had the Cavs.
I think we're on to something with the Atlanta Hawks.
Sleeper team?
Sleeper team.
Yep.
I guess they're not really that asleep if they're number 4 in the East, but
so we got
still decent value.
We got Atlanta Hawks for the NBA and the Carolina Panthers for the NFL.
There we go. The stats don't lie about the Panthers.
We'll wait until August to get into that.
Right now, though.
For those who don't know, you'll have to wait for August, or we'll let you try and dig through 2 months worth of podcasts to figure out where we went on our Carolina Panthers rant. Should it be that hard? Schedule release.
See the Panthers early week 1.
All right.
And,
we'll talk about the Panthers when we get to the
Let's keep it moving.
Right, let's do some winners and losers.
Let's get it.
All right, before we get into winners and losers, it, as always, is sponsored by our good friends at SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 ticketing app in the nosebleeds. We all love SeatGeek. We use it for every event we go to, whether it's a Mets game, but I'm not going to many of those anymore. They're in shambles. Matt going to a Phillies game, or Jack and I possibly going to the Players Era Festival in Las Vegas in November. SeatGeek is the #1 place to go. Use our code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Now, winners and losers.
I'll go first. My winner is nice, quick, and easy. I got a lot more thought into my loser. Guess I'm negative. But on the positive side, with my winner of the week, it's going to be us NFL football fans. Officially 2 months away. I'm assuming most of you guys are listening to this July 3rd. Tomorrow, July 4th, the greatest day in America's year, marks the 2-month ticker until we get NFL football back. Matt's Eagles are going to be hosting the Cowboys. I'm so excited, man. 2 months. The clock is ticking. What's that, like 10 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, I think Scott Hansen last Sunday tweeted out 10 weeks until I guess they don't call it commercial-free football anymore, but whatever Red Zone is now, I'm excited. We have a month until Hard Knocks. Not only 2 months until football, but like that first Hard Knocks is when you really see football on your television, and you're like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah, I mean, once July hits, I start feeling it. Like I'm like, oh shit, and then August hits, and then it's like, oh, we're back. All like, I don't know, July or August 1st is when the fantasy mock drafts start. I know some people are nuts and do it in May, but like for the most part, are you guys July or August 1st is when the mock drafts start flying?
I'd be lying if I said I haven't already taken a look at some stats looking into next year.
That's different. I mean, like,
right,
sometimes you do a mock draft and you do go through like 6, 7, 8 simulated rounds of making.
Yeah, I'll start rattling those off in August. I'll try to abstain for the rest of July and just wait until August. But I'm definitely one that gets antsy about those kinds of things.
Yeah, my interest for fantasy football, specifically mocks, depends completely on how well the Mets are doing. So we'll see how that goes.
So you could be loading one up tonight.
I mean, did you see how they lost game 1 today?
How are we looking in the last 15, Brian?
Horrible.
They
Mets
are
have been disastrous.
3-17 over the last 20.
It's panic.
Somehow still 2 games back of the Phillies because the Phillies haven't been much better.
I mean, it's not that the Phillies have been bad. I mean, if you remember, the Mets had like a 6-game lead.
Yeah, it was 5.
So that's a pretty big swing.
It is, but yeah, when the Mets go 3-17, you expect it. And I guess that's credit to them for building that lead in the first place. But they just need to get to All-Star break. It's bad out here.
It's really bad, but we'll take it.
Matt, what's your winner of the week?
I don't know if you guys saw, but I will go, I guess, with the word nostalgia. Backyard Baseball 2001 has officially been announced for a comeback. Release date for July 8th. So I think it was announced within the last couple of days. And in 6 days, you'll be able to log on via your PC, iOS, or Android and play the game that I think most of us all played on the computer way back in the day with the generic character Pablo Sanchez and ran some Backyard Baseball. So nostalgia takes the winner of the week for me this week. Backyard Baseball 2001, a blast from the past, will return July 8th.
Yeah, I was more of a Philip Wheeler guy, but I did like me some Pablo Sanchez. Petey?
Petey Wheeler.
He was also Philip. I was just calling him by his respectful name.
Petey.
Peter Philip. Isn't Pete? No. What's short for Phil?
The rivalries are back.
Either way, you're correct. I'm wrong. All right.
I was gonna say he was the GOAT. You don't mess up LeBron James' name. I mean, come on.
That's true. I think the key here is it's on iOS and Android. They released 97, but it was only on like the Switch. And I remember.
I wanted to ask.
One was the better one anyway.
On iOS, meaning like my iPhone, I get to play this on my iPhone now.
Yeah. So did you ever play like the Baseball Superstars? I feel like they need a game mode like that where they have like a career mode.
That game was so addicting.
No,
I don't think they had one until 2013, or like 2013 was the last one they had.
Yeah, I remember playing it in middle school, like study hall. Everyone would just be playing.
To be honest with you, I don't know exactly when, but I think post-pandemic, I would log on from time to time. And dude, you could play a full season with your guy. Yep. They had playoffs. It was challenging. It wasn't like you just run right. Like, dude, that game was addicting.
I feel like I used to play Backyard Baseball on my GameCube. Do they have it?
I played it on the PC back in the day, but
okay.
Either way, it'll be accessible for all via PC, iOS, and Android July 8th.
Well, in light of that, I think I might as well bring this up. But I saw that they're gonna re-release NCAA college basketball.
Is that confirmed, or is that just 2K trying to blue ball all of us?
That was what's that like really big, but not really an official site, College Basketball Report on X.
The one that rated Denver Jones as like the 19th best player.
Yeah, they seemed like a super credible source, but
I saw something about it. And I got excited. Well,
2K. Someone tweeted at 2K and they were like, "Are we ever gonna get college
they
basketball
tweeted it
back, and
out,
2K did
but we
like the
just
eye
don't know.
emojis.
Yeah, we don't know. It'd be nice. They were able to do it for NCAA football. Why can't they do basketball? Is it a lot harder with rights and things like that? I mean, football is the same with just getting the school licensing and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. We have
basketball.
NIL.
You got to deal with all the mid majors, though. I feel like football, there's not as many, but it still shouldn't be that difficult.
It's maybe a couple more hoops, but dude, we're in 2025. NIL exists. It's like transfer portal free agency. There's no rules. Wild, wild west, wide open. Should not be this difficult. No. It should not be where college football was 2024. If it takes more than 5 years to get a basketball version of that same thing for football, something's not right.
Yeah, and the basketball games are so much fun.
I think they said 2028 was when they were going to release it.
Yeah, but again, that's not an official reading. But we'll take the positive update. Good, right or wrong. We'll
Real or not.
Wonder if they'll make you buy VC for transfer portal players. All right, I'll give out my winner.
I got fucking bug in here.
My winner is, speaking of bugs, it's going to be lawns and people that like to mow lawns. Paul Skeens, as you know, electric pitcher that has been getting some bad luck this year. I think he's 4-8 with a 2 ERA. Might not be liking his teammates so much, so he was spotted from the press box talking it up with the grounds crew before a game. This is from Noah Hiles, their beat writer. Just saw Paul Skeens join the grounds crew. He was out there for 15 to 20 minutes, followed up with Skeens after the game, and he said he would love to professionally cut grass whenever his baseball days are over.
What a beast.
So, own the landscaping company?
I guess that can mean anything from own a suburban neighborhood landscaping company to being a head groundskeeper for baseball.
Yeah, at a baseball park.
Yeah. Okay.
He just
I was thinking if he wants to own the landscaping company, is he really going to be the one doing the work?
No.
It's all
but also
labor that he pays for.
But just imagine, you're Paul Skeens, you had a sick MLB career, you got a wife and kids, and then you're from 10 to 2 every day, you're cutting the grass at the local high school. What a life, dude. That's awesome. Good for him. I'm a Paul Skeens fan. I'm not an LSU baseball fan, but I'm a Paul Skeens fan.
He's got a very dry sense of humor that I hope this isn't a joke, and I really hope he wants to one day just be mowing the grass, reminiscing on his 50 and 100 career record with 5 Cy Youngs.
Yeah, my loser of the week. It's a tough one for me. The Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson of halftime performances.
The Red Panda.
Yeah. She took a tumble. Yeah. Shout out. She took a tumble at a WNBA game the other day, Fever Links, and it was
the Commissioner's Cup final. All right. Respect the WNBA.
Yeah. Brian, I don't even respect the NBA's Emirates Cup or whatever the hell they call it, so I'm not going to.
You got it the right name.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, at some special fancy game, WNBA game, she came down off that unicycle while spinning those plates. MRI just came back. The reports are what we thought. She's got a fractured wrist, and she's going to be out for the next 2 to 4 months. So tough break for halftime performances everywhere.
I'd be surprised if that was just 4 months, too, because she's got to rehab that wrist to get the spinning right and the balance. There's a lot that goes into the Red Panda.
It's not like riding a bicycle.
No.
I understand she's the GOAT. I understand she's the best. But this is a dangerous gig. Are we really shocked that finally an injury has occurred?
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, she started.
I get it. She's good at her craft.
I'm not shocked. I'm just a little sad.
She started in 93, Matt. In 1993. This is 32 years of excellence.
A pro's pro.
A real pro's pro. And the most devastating part of it all, she could not get up off the court herself. She needed to be carried off. I think she was stretchered off in the wheelchair. I mean, this is just not what you want to see from a 32-year vet.
Absolutely not. But, she knows what she's signing up for. Second, and not a lot of people are going to like this, and that's okay. Aren't the cups magnetic? Aren't they folded so that they can go in a lot easier?
No, come on.
And I'm not talking about that guy. And I will
do
set
this.
the record straight. I 1,000% cannot do that and would never be able to do that in my life. Ever. Rigged cups or not.
You're making Jack cry.
Don't do it, Matt.
I'm not doing it. But I'm just saying. I'll leave it at that.
The magic of Red Panda, no. It's like telling someone Santa Claus isn't real.
Someone's got to be the bad guy. And I have no problem being it.
Rest up, Red Panda.
Yeah. You think you're Pat Bev over here, like Draymond Green over here?
I am the Skip Bayless of this show.
Oh, man. Well, I'll let you give out your loser since you want to be the villain right now.
Well, speaking of losers of the week, this wasn't mine original, but I did see it, and we're talking about injuries. I think a big blow is I think he re-signed with the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson hurt his toe and will require surgery. Not sure how long he'll be out. The interesting part about it and why it makes him more of a loser of the week is this injury occurred outside of the Grizzlies training complex, outside of, team workout, team employees. Not sure how exactly he hurt it. Maybe he was working out, maybe he was playing basketball, but again, signed a massive extension this offseason, will require surgery. I think, that could be a loser of the week in itself. But I did want to shout out Steve and myself for asking the question. We asked him who is a big underdog, plus 500 or longer for the first round matchups. Not sure if you guys saw the last show, but he did say the third overall seed in Wimbledon this year on the men's side, Alexander Zverev, is on upset alert to, I forget the guy's first name, Roger Rinderknecht. I forget his first name, but Rinderknecht upset Zverev as a plus 650 underdog. It was shouted out here on the podcast Sunday night or Monday morning. Zverev loses his first round. Arthur Rinderknecht. Zverev loses the first round matchup. As the third overall seed, you usually have a pretty easy draw. Again, anything can happen. You're supposed to. Again, he clearly lost, so whatever. But that's a lot of money he left on the table. I mean, the purses are huge when it comes to the major tournaments. And as the third overall seed, you expect to get to the quarterfinals. I mean, this guy's maybe walking away with like 20, 30 grand, Zverev, where, he's expected to, walk around with high six figures, making the semifinal low millions of dollars. So that's just to show you how much money he left on the table for getting bounced out of the first round.
Yes, Steve had a couple people on upset alert. He also said, don't be surprised if Coco Gauff goes out early because the grass isn't her game. And she not only went out early, she flamed out early. It was pretty sad to watch. I know Jack was probably pretty upset watching his girl Coco.
Brian, it's incredible how locked in I was for Roland Garros last tennis tournament. And like this, I didn't even know. Like Wimbledon, which is, I think, undebatably a bigger tournament. I know they're both like majors and all that, but Wimbledon is
what nationality of people you ask.
Wimbledon is Wimbledon. So I mean, at least for us Americans, I feel like we all think Wimbledon is bigger than Roland Garros. But anyway, I was locked in for that one. This one, I didn't even know it started. I missed the last pod. I did catch up on Steve's takes. Shout out Steve, man. He's gotten he's hot. He's real hot. So shout out Steve. But no, I'm not really watching Coco Gauff right now. I'm not watching any tennis right now. You want to know what I've been watching? The Big Three, presented by Ice Cube.
I will never watch that.
Okay, well, I want to dissect that. But first, I do want to say, Steve, put a lot of confidence in my guy Taylor Fritz to make a run. and his 2 matches have both gone to the 5th set, and he's giving me a heart attack each time. So I really hope he can figure that out. But why in the world are you watching the Big Three?
Because Dwight Howard and the Las Vegas Riot are kicking ass.
What a name.
I'm not going to make the joke about ass and Dwight Howard, but what a name.
No, I'm not. Wait, let me get that right. It's the LA Riot. Excuse me.
You had a chance. It'd be great, Jack.
Yeah, Dwight Howard and the LA Riot. They I watched their game against the Houston Oil Hands. Excuse me, the Oil Rig Hands.
The Oil Hands are way better. Oil Hands would have been way better.
It's the Oil Rig Hands.
That's terrible.
Yeah, Dwight Howard
Oil
was giving
Hands
them the
would have been
business.
way better.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my biggest takeaway from that game, other than how ridiculous this whole league is, was the fact that Dwight Howard was hitting more threes in this game than I've seen him hit free throws in his 10-year NBA career. You know, he finally found his shot, but he's playing in China now. So
yeah, maybe playing for the Guangdong Dragons really helped him develop a 3-point shot.
So yeah, I've been taking in the Big Three lately. It's some good basketball. No, it's literally all like 37-year-old retired NBA players, and it's not great basketball. But
half court, they still have the 4-point shot in there.
Yes, they have the little circles for the 4-point shot.
Remember that was their big gimmick to get people to watch. I think I watched a game.
Shout out the LA Riot.
Shout out to LA Riot, and shout out, I guess, Riots in general, maybe, because we might have another one in the NBA after Malik Beasley, my loser of the week, cannot blame an interpreter for him gambling. He just got caught in a federal investigation, and it's not looking good for my friend Malik Beasley. They found a game in 2021 after some kind of thing happened with his family where he would have needed money, and his team was down by 10 points. The spread was 8.5. He got a rebound with 2 seconds left, sprinted up and down the court, and covered the spread. And now the evidence is looking pretty damning that he gambled on basketball games.
I mean, that's not a great example based off of – that was not a great Exhibit A based off of what you just presented to me. But, yeah, you normally don't get out of those. They normally pin you, find some way to pin you for it. And that's tough.
Unless you have Ipe as your fall guy.
Yeah, but nobody – dude, Malik Beasley put that job out on Craigslist. No one wanted to take it, though. They all just saw Ipe on his way to prison in Pennsylvania. So they're like, I this can't be me. I'm not doing it. You're on your own, Malik.
Yeah, first of all, isn't it a rumor at the moment?
No, he's getting investigated.
He's getting investigated, but it's not been proven yet. The deal isn't canceled. The deal isn't pulled. It's on pause. So before we say Malik Beasley gambled, let's let the justice system play out here, Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Innocent until proven guilty.
I said he was under investigation for gambling on basketball games.
Your loser of the week, I have it in writing. Malik Beasley gambled and can't blame it on an interpreter.
Well, that was good. That's not exactly what I said. That's what I wrote in the document.
But that's what you said.
Say whatever you want. I got it on paper. Call it in 10K, 4K, whatever they call it.
You know the great thing? The listeners never see the paper. What they see or hear is our voices and our faces.
You know, I've never printed out the paper, but I really wish I could have just fucking put it up in front for everybody to see.
You did, all right. You know how America works. You're guilty until proven innocent by the public eye.
I'm going to let the justice system play out here.
Real Americans know that's not the case. Happy July 4th.
You know, I'm more of a let me see all the evidence before I make a decision kind of guy. I'm not going to let the internet make it for me.
All right, well, he gambled.
Either way, tough luck.
That's why the Luke Kennard signing was so big.
Might just
no, not Luke Kennard. Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert signing.
Might just be the difference.
Can we talk about Brian before we get to your loser? Wait, that was your loser.
That was my loser.
Before
losers is done, bro.
But before we move on, I should have brought this up a little bit earlier when we were talking NBA trades. But how about the Timberwolves? They lock up Nas. They lock up Julius Randle. We know Ant's not going anywhere.
And Edwards. I don't need to talk about the Timberwolves.
I mean,
what did they do?
They were a Western Conference Finals team last year after beating Jokic.
You're acting like they just signed KD. You're like, let's stop the show to talk about the Timberwolves.
They re-signed Nas Reed,
and your first thing out of your mouth was
Randle
they got Nas Reed back. Like what?
And Randle.
Okay.
That's where I was going, gentlemen. That is where I was going. They just brought everyone back. It wasn't good enough. What is the next move? What do they need
Edwards
to do?
Takes the next step.
Yeah, and Edwards is
Brother's already almost averaging 40 points a game when he needs to. Like what do you mean?
He wasn't good in the playoffs.
He wasn't good in the playoffs.
He wasn't consistent in the playoffs.
He wasn't good.
I don't think that's fair.
I'll give you the consistent, but I think it is he more just wasn't good in the playoffs. But
Julius Randle was their best player.
Yeah, that's also true. Randle helped
that can't
kind of keep them in series, but I appreciate.
I'm not going to deny that Julius Randle was the better player.
Listen, if you want to talk about the Timberwolves, they should have been your winner or loser of the week. All right,
or brought up in the NBA segment. In the NBA segment that we spent a half hour on at the beginning of the show.
We haven't done a 400 in a year, and you wanted to talk about the Timberwolves bringing back Nas Reed.
Hold up, everybody! The Timberwolves brought back Nas Reed. Let's talk about it. Hold it, Nas Reed's back in Minnesota.
Let's get the 400.
Shout out to Edwards.
Crazy.
All right. First 400 of the summer, fellas. We've made it. It's the dead period of the sports calendar, some might say. We do have some fun golf tournaments coming up and still some good tennis tournaments. But 400 is back. If you weren't around last year, basically just a draft. We go around the horn. I'll draft 4 things in a category. Today's category is the 4 and 400 of 4 and 400s we want to do this summer. I don't know how we want to do this, but Jack, you are on my right, so I will give you the first pick. And then we'll go Matt, and then I'll go third.
All right. Well,
I don't think this one's as competitive or there's no wrong answer.
No, there'll still be a vote.
This is what they call the preface.
The prologue.
The prologue. You know what? I'm gonna start from the top down with number one.
That's normally how you read.
I'm gonna act like you didn't just say that. I'm gonna start from the top down. I want best coaches of all time.
Okay.
I like it. I don't know if we did this one last year, or I'm assuming we're trying to stay away from ones we already did. It's going to get really tough as we do like a shit ton of these. But again, I don't know where to score these, but I'm really hoping we can squeeze in the best 6-man of all time.
Okay.
Ryan loves that one.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Get it down.
All right, my first pick is going to be the things we wish we were good at.
Good one.
And my second one will be athletes we would not want to be stranded on a deserted island with.
Creative.
Definitely like that one.
I think it jumps back to me.
Yep.
I teased this one months ago, but the best score bugs that we see on TV.
That's a great one. I'm excited to do that one.
I'm very excited.
Are we going to be able to have 12? Yeah, because we can go different sports and everything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking different networks.
Fair enough. Like the TNT basketball would be different than the TNT tennis or soccer.
There's in every sports team, you got to do a little bit of research, but everybody has their own like.
Yeah, you could also go the regional.
which
teams.
a lot of them are the same. Like NBC Sports is all over the
FanDuel
place.
Sports Network.
FanDuel, which used to be Bally's. But you get the drift.
Yeah.
I think we could just about muster it out for the scorebugs.
I like that one. With my next two, I want to go best. No, I don't. I want to go biggest busts. Biggest busts, and I want it to go off of draft day. And Brian, you can be the one who figures out how we word this properly, but just absolute busts. And I don't want to, get into details now and reveal any picks, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, so not like the Mets signing Jason Day.
Right.
Jason Day.
Or Juan.
Exactly.
Jason Day might have been better than Jason Day at baseball.
Or Juan Soto for more recent.
Or Juan Soto. It's a great point.
Just put up the second best OPS of his career in June. Rest of the team didn't do anything, but
yeah. So biggest bust coming off the draft, and then I'm gonna go in light of this show. I didn't have this on my list originally, but best sports video games.
okay.
I actually did have that on my list, and then I also, in parentheses, said or just best video games in general. But I think did we do that?
We
before?
did video games last year, and it got very contentious because I think
sports video games.
Someone tried to take Call of Duty, and then we were well, which Call of Duty do you want?
Had all the Call of Duty.
That
got
Same thing with Madden and 2K. It got very contentious.
To be fair, I don't think I was going to use that one. I don't.
We're going sports video games. So because it's sports, we're getting.
You have to get the year.
You have to go year.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course.
There's a big difference between Madden 04 and Madden 17.
Absolutely. Madden 13, best ever.
Mm-hmm.
You love that one, Brian. Jarvis Jandry or whatever his name, hands on hip card. Yeah.
That's an opinion.
Ray Rice, 5-star. 99.
I mean, that game was unbelievable. It was a prime of us being teenagers as well. So, all right, Jack, you did two right there. I will go with, did we do this last year? The best stadiums, not just exclusive to America, around the world.
I like it.
I like that.
Did we do that last year?
No, we did best sporting events.
Okay, we did events.
Yeah.
So we did stadiums. Okay. So maybe we just keep it exclusive to the U.S. What do we do international? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we could make two out of that. We could go U.S. and then international. Split it up into two lists.
Good. All right.
I like it.
All right. I guess I'll finish with my last two. I had best places to drink a beer.
We did that.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, we did.
We won.
Yeah, because I was at the airport and I never had an airport beer. Yeah.
Airport beers hit.
Okay.
I remember this conversation vividly.
We definitely didn't do this one. I also just had temperatures. The best temperatures.
Okay. This better be
I think that one could be fun.
This got to be like, I don't even know, like Halloween weekend or something, dude. Like, this is a joke. This April Fool's one? I mean, what's going on here?
No, like temperatures.
Like 72 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah. Like, do you like 70 degrees better, or do you like a crisp 60-degree day?
This is your 4 and 400, brother.
Yeah.
Lord help you.
And then I guess I need one more now. I gotta come up with one off the spot here. I really didn't remember us doing beers.
We can come back around if you want.
Yeah, I guess this one's not really I'm not really worried about you guys stealing my picks here.
Probably not stealing it.
All right, yeah, Matt, you go ahead.
I'm coming in with a banger with my last one. So.
Yeah, I mean, I already said best six man of all time. This one's maybe a stretch of that, but also not really. And this one may be a little subjective, maybe not, but the best wingman of all time. Think like Batman and Robin.
Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
LeBron James to Kyrie Irving. The best wingman of all time.
Unbelievable.
Why?
LeBron James to Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, you mixed that up. You mixed up.
You mean Kyrie Irving to LeBron James?
Yeah, like I meant.
Oh, okay.
I was
thought you were
saying it as Batman and Robin.
Yeah, no, I thought you
If
were
I
just
say Batman
trying...
and Robin, you know what I'm fucking talking about.
I thought you were trying to
No,
take a shot
that's
at
not what-
LeBron.
I knew what you were thinking, but no, that's not what he was doing.
No. Only Jack takes things out of context around here.
That was the context.
Well, I started off
Well,
with
you
Batman and Robin.
saying it like that. Yeah. No, if he didn't say Batman before Robin and the one before,
Sorry.
I did say Batman and Robin to start.
you
off,
chose
and
to
then
listen to the half.
Yeah.
And you chose to take it out of context.
I chose to listen to grammar. Whatever. Anyway,
All good.
I like
My bad,
it.
dude.
I still like it. It's a good
I
one.
think it could be a fun one.
It works well off of the 6-man, just like Brian's international versus just home. I like that. Or home, US. I like that.
That just reminded me. I'm only picking stadiums with roofs when we do stadiums. But go ahead, Jack.
Whatever, man. Mine is going to be spouses of athletes. That's how we're
Or we did
how we're
best
gonna-
couples that
couples.
would make a best baby.
But we only did sports couples. So
We did sports
Yeah,
couples. I'm
Jack's
talking.
Jack's
I
horny.
think
He
we
wants
did
to get
couples
the.
that would make the best like pro athlete. And
We did. I think we
We
did.
did.
that.
We did that for
settled on
Valentine's.
Darren Waller and Kelsey Plum, who, by the way, aren't together anymore.
Darren Waller's also back in football.
He is back in football.
He's been having a wild couple.
Giants retired him. He came out of retirement.
Wild little
and went to
stretch.
the Dolphins.
Yeah. Thanks for the 7th round pick, Darren.
Is that all they got?
Yeah. Maybe a 6th rounder. Maybe they
Better
traded
than-
Waller.
better than nothing,
Better than
right?
him just being retired.
Yeah, I guess.
For my last one, I'll just go with. Did we ever do worst athletes of all time?
Chris Humphries.
He would be up there.
What do you mean by worst?
I mean, it's really
Like,
subjective. It doesn't.
Worst
It's just the
based
worst.
on the pro level.
Like stat wise and like how
I just like, dude, like
per-
Jared
Like you're not going to
Dudley.
pull out your high school teammate that couldn't hit a
No.
baseball, but just worst athletes.
At the pro level. Jared Dudley comes to mind. Chris Humphries comes to mind.
All right, how about
Ronnie
this?
James.
There's like Pablo Sandoval, who was actually good, but he's not an athlete.
No, I mean like worst. I guess you'd go worst sports.
Dude, you
Figures.
can tell. Their stats suck and they are not athletic. It's both.
Yeah, the guys that suck the most.
The guys that suck the most, yeah.
I can do that.
What's
Plaxico
the
Perez.
best?
Plaxico Burress won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he shot
Yeah.
himself in the leg. He sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if Plaxico gets on the list for me, as much as I fucking hate him.
All right, well, I think that's the show. Unless you guys have anything else.
No, I'm good to wrap it up. And before I sign off, I want to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July, patriotic 4th of July. Go out there, celebrate America. Regardless of who's in office, you can celebrate this great nation. USA, USA, USA.
Yeah, no, I'd hate to bring up another re-signing in the NBA and get flamed for it. So you guys have a great day. Happy 4th. And what Matt said, USA.
You're allowed to riot if they lose to Guatemala.